If you lot think I'm intelligent, then this is the third time I've recorded this video because twice in a row I forgot to click record on my screen capture. Well done, Tommo. So some of you in the comments have been very active in wanting me to do another livery design video. My Alpha Tauri one went down pretty well. So I've been kind of thinking, and I had obviously lots of suggestions on what car I should look at next. For me, the 2020 Ferrari is good. It's not great. I think it could be, yeah, like they could have done more. I think it's a good looking car though. Don't get me wrong. I think the 2020 grid generally is quite strong. As harsh as I've been on the Alpha Tauri, I do think it, as a whole, it's pretty good. So yeah, I thought I'd put my money where my mouth is once again, take on the challenge of redesigning the 2020 Ferrari Formula 1 car. Also, some of you mentioned that you'd like to see a bit more of a breakdown as to exactly how I do this in Photoshop. This isn't a tutorial, so I'll give a little bit of insight, but I'm not going to go too deep. I might bring a tutorial later down the line, maybe. That could be a video on its own. So first and foremost, we want to make the car naked. We want to take it from this to this, where, you can't see anything, right? It's just a plain red car. And the way I go about doing that, if I open up the original as a smart object, select the spot healing brush. Spot healing brush you can pretty much get rid of anything with. So I'll just highlight the UPS logo, for example, and then boom, it's gone. You would not know. Taking the time and going around every single little logo on here, getting rid of them. In terms of changing colors, that's a bit more detailed, but again, I'm not going to go into that in this video. Spot healing brush will get you a long way though. So back to the naked red car. So my design, well, first and foremost, I wanted to desaturate the car. I need it to be as little color as possible in the vehicle, obviously just keeping the tires yellow. And then, desaturating it was still quite dark, so I've lightened it within a layer itself. So we've got a nice white base to then work from, add color, add logos. All that stuff is much easier to do when you've got a plain white backdrop to work from. So my base color red, I've gone for this. Now, again, if we go back to the original, you'll see that this is a bit more luscious, a bit more intense, a bit more vibrant, but also I would suggest that this is kind of a matte finish. But then if I go onto this layer, you'll see that actually I'm not incorporating the red into the front or rear wings. I'm going for a little bit of a retro feel. I can't remember the specific cars off the top of my head, but I'll leave them on screen as the two Ferraris that I've taken the most inspiration from in terms of this side of things, in terms of the wings. Because on top of that, and I'm not just keeping them full white, I'm adding black to the end plates, a bit of black to the side of the car as well. You've got the Italian flags going on. Retro inspired, not themed as such. But yeah, in terms of black and white on both the front and rear wings, I think works really nicely. And again, if we compare this to the original car, which is all red all over with hints of black, I don't know. For me, the white does have a place. I don't think it's always been well implemented, but again, it's a classic to have the white. And then in terms of the logos, well, I'm not going to do them one by one. I'm just going to slap them all on in one click. Bosh. What do we think of that? So again, let's jump back to the original car and then back to mine. Original, mine, original. Okay, so there's some elements that are very much shared. So the position of the mission winnow thing at the back and the position of the Shell, UPS, Ray-Ban logos is pretty much the same because I don't have an issue with them. But yeah, so there's certain elements, as you'll notice straight away, the chevrons that I've added outside of the mission winnow logo. I think it's a really nice logo mark, and I think there is more that they can do with it. So doing something like this, and again, it kind of fits in with the kind of retro inspired thing that I've gone for with this, because I do think that looks quite, old school. And yeah, just bringing it down the side of the car, swooping it down, having the number. We've gone with Charles's number 16 for this one. Over the top. With Ray-Ban and UPS, as you can see from the original, I've taken the colours out and I've made them all black. I think the black on red works really nicely with the logos. And yeah, the UPS particularly, I just think it's really ugly in its actual colours. I think it should be a all whited or all blacked out logo. But I've kept Shell the same because the red and the yellow kind of go with Ferrari, and Shell is the most iconic brand on that Ferrari. It's the oldest sports sponsorship in history. For me, it kind of makes sense that they have a place on there. Also, the Shell works well with the Pirelli logo as well, which I have had to implement down there. And again, I just think it kind of blends in nicely. The mission winnow is on here now. Again, that does exist on the real car, but I've just brought the chevrons into it. I was considering making the halo black and making that kind of blend into the chevrons. I don't know, maybe that would have been a good idea. I did try it, and for me, I like when the halo is the same colour as the car. It just makes it feel like more part of the vehicle rather than something that's been plonked on at the end, even though it obviously hasn't. And then yeah, I've gone for the red Mission Winnow elements on the side of the black. I think that works really nicely for me. I did try white, it looked a bit meh, but for me the red on black works a treat. And then most of the other logos are pretty much the same. I've changed the position of some of them, but all in all, not much has changed in that part because it's just placement of logos. As an overall package, for me, this is much nicer. Although I say it, one other, and again, the good thing with these layers is that I can change the base color to whatever I like. So for example, if we wanted this Ferrari to be blue for some reason, then crack on, that looks weird. But what did work quite well actually was just having the whole body white. This could be a cool like test livery maybe. I think that would be very interesting to see as a test livery. What also works quite well is having it all red as well. So red at the front and the back. Again, I still think I prefer this to the original. For me, I think it's nicer. But no, for me, I think I do, you know, I like having the white on the front and back. It's a little kind of nod to the, you know, mid to early 2000s Ferrari dominance. For me, that's where that kind of comes from. Again, you can't, I'd have to white out a lot of the logos, but even that looks sick. I mean, any car all black, as the Renault proved, looks quality. So there's my final livery. I'll put it on screen alongside the original. Let me know, what's your favourite? Which do you prefer? Are you Team Tommo or Team Mattia Bonotto? This was fun, man. This is what I like doing. This is good fun for me. So the more I'm enjoying what I'm doing, the more that should hopefully come across on camera. So be sure to like this video if you've enjoyed it and want to see more livery stuff like this. Let me know any suggestions, anything you like in the comments below. I'll do my best, again, within that first 3 hours to read and respond to as many as I can, because I can't reply to all the comments anymore. I'm sorry, there's no time. There's so many, and that's great to see, and I love that. But yeah, also please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell on this channel so that you see all my stuff when it drops. I'm trying to bring a video every other day at the moment. I won't be able to continue that forever because I'm furloughed at the moment, so I've got all the time in the world, but that won't always be the case. So yeah, my name's been Tommo. Thanks again so much for watching. Have a good one. Ta-da.